Hi class. So today what we're going to talk about is our next unit in Letterland, and actually these are the words boat and hide, which I'm sure you guys already know, but the reason why we're going over these words first is because we have already learned rules about vowelmen, okay, Mr. I and Mr. O. We've learned a rule about them. The rule for boat, I'm sure you guys all could tell me, is the reason why we're saying that O sound for Mr. O is because the A is following. So when two vowels go walking, the first one is going to always be doing the talking. Now for the second one, in the word hide, the reason why we're saying this I sound or Mr. I's sound is because there is a magic E at the end of the word. So in the word boat and hide, we know that Mr. O and Mr. I are saying their names in those words. Well, today we're going to talk a little bit more about Mr. O and about Mr. I. I don't have my cute little Letterland cards, so we're going to have to just use the ones that Miss Bab made, but we'll start with Mr. O. So Mr. O also, in addition to words where there is a vowel, two vowels walking, and a magic E at the end, he also likes to be in really old words. So some of those old words are words like old, also hold, and sold, and cold. Oh, I skipped one. And told. And this one is old, scold. So these are just some of the words that Mr. O says his name in. So it doesn't necessarily follow the rules that we have already talked about, but now you know that Mr. O also likes really old words. So think of all the words that rhyme with old, and that means that you're going to hear Mr. O say his name in those words. There's also some other words that he likes to say, but they don't fit that pattern. And those are words like both, roll, and most. So those are some additional words that Mr. O says his name in. So those are some of the words that you're going to be practicing this week. In addition to that, we have Mr. I still over here. Now, Mr. I, he is a very kind person. So he likes to say his name also in words like kind, or words that rhyme with kind, like find, or mind, or blind. Now, this word, I'm sure you guys were like, oh, Miss Bad, that's the word wind. Well, if we think about it, there's another word that is spelled the same way, but it sounds differently, and that's the word wind, like you're winding up something, or you're winding up a toy to make it spin. That would be how you would use that word. So we're gonna use this word as wind this week. So that's kind of a tricky word, but just keep that in mind that it's actually wind. Okay, so those are some words that Mr. I likes because he's a really kind person. So he likes to use words that rhyme with kind and say his name in those words. He also is a very mild person. So mild means he doesn't usually get angry. So some words that rhyme with the word mild would be wild or child. Okay, those are some words that might rhyme with mild that Mr. I likes to say his name in. Now, we have one other word that I want to talk about, and that is the word climb. Now, climb is kind of a tricky word. So you see that we have MB at the end. And we haven't talked about this yet, but it's a very interesting word because we have two Letterlanders in it. We have a monster. Okay, this is Munching Mike. He's a monster. Right behind him him standing right behind Bouncing Ben makes Bouncing Ben super nervous, and he gets so shaked up that it takes his breath away. That's why he can't say anything. So when we see these two, we just hear Munching Mike's sound, and we don't say Bouncing Ben sound because he's so nervous. So when we say this word, it's I'm, and don't say Bouncing Ben because he's really nervous. So it's just climb, but that would still be in the Mr. I category, but it's kind of a tricky word to say. So just keep that in mind when you see MB, those two Letterlanders beside each other. They're going to make just the sound because Bouncing Ben is getting really nervous being right behind a monster. So just remember that. Okay, I think that's all I have for our quick mini lesson on Mr. O and Mr. I in tricky words that we haven't learned or don't follow the vowel pattern that we've learned yet. So remember, Mr. O, he likes to be in words that are old, okay? So any of those words that rhyme with old, he's going to be in those words. And then there were a couple of words that he also likes to be in that do not fit that pattern. And those words are both, roll, and most. And then we also have Mr. I over here, okay? And he is a very kind and a very mild person, so he doesn't get angry easily. And he likes to be in words that rhyme with the word kind, which are all these words, and words that rhyme with the word mild, so all these words, okay? And then remember that climb is that tricky word. Okay, that MB sound, it's not making the B sound, it's not making Bouncing Ben sound, so it just climb. All right, I want you guys to be practicing your word sorts, and I'll send out some additional things for you guys to be practicing on for your Letterland this week. But just, if you want, you can also pause this video, get backed up so you can see all the words. Then you can practice reading all the words as well. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.